Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. The subject of my vlog today is the double standards of dating in the Philippines. Let me welcome my new viewers and new subscribers. Thank you so much for your kindness, your generosity, your support of my channel. It's truly been amazing. I'll never take that for granted. I left the rat race in December 2018. I haven't looked back. I moved to the Philippines. I found a new life. I just want to share with you my boots on the ground experiences, my unique perspective, the only way I know how. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is, what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. I call that the nitty gritty. Never going to sugarcoat that. It's not going to start today. The double standards dating in the Philippines. But before I get started, I want to address a few questions that I had because I want to let you guys know I'm listening, really. And, he said, as a new visitor to the Philippines, is there some things that I'm going to have to get adjusted to, right away? And I said, yeah, I can think of a few of them. And the first thing that jumped off in my mind is when you get over here, there's going to seem to be a total disregard for rules over here. That's one reason I don't drive. And I kind of did some research on that and got some strange answers to it, but most of it goes back to their colonization of being, under the yoke of the Spaniards and the Americans and following all the rules and stuff that colonizers put on the locals. But yeah, Filipinos, they just seem to have a total disregard for rules. I was in Jollibee the other day. It's a long line. And it snakes around. It's a certain pattern that they go. And some woman just walks in and walks right up to the counter, places the order. Now I was pissed because I had been waiting. But I know that's that thin line that we straddle over here. If I'd have made a big deal out of it, and maybe embarrassed her or something like that, it could have caused more trouble than it was worth. But that's the sort of thing you're going to run into. Or you may see a Filipino man just pull his junk out and pee right out in the open. It's not something I hold against them or anything. I've gotten used to it being over here off and on for 12 years, but it is something that you're going to have to get accustomed to. That you may see somebody. This is what cringes me. I don't like this, but like I said, I don't hold it against them. I'm a guest over here. You may see somebody walk down the street and just throw garbage on the ground, throw their trash on the ground. A whole bag, like the Jollibee or McDonald's trash or something like that. It gets under my skin. But I'm a guest over here, but it's just stuff like that. It just seems that there's no regard for the rules, man. So, be careful when you cross the street. Because I tell people all the time, that crosswalk, that's just a waste of paint. They don't pay that any attention, guys. There's probably been more people killed standing in that crosswalk than outside the crosswalk. But that's just one thing. Another thing is procrastination over here. You're going to see that. You're going to run into that a lot. And it's going to drive you crazy, especially somebody like me, who was a procrastinator for a long, long time. So I can understand it. But over here, it's like a part of life. Later is their favorite word. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is just really, if you're over here for 2 weeks, it's no big deal. But if you plan on staying here, it's something that you're just going to have to suck it up, man, and get used to that. But if it's your mate that exhibits the procrastination, like my girlfriend does, I stay on her case all the time. But I do it in a way, I give her my experience as a former procrastinator. But yeah, it's going to drive you crazy. And the last thing I talk about is Filipino time. I've talked about this before on some of my live streams, but it's something you're going to have to get used to. They're on their own time over here, and it's going to drive you crazy. See, I'm an insurance agent. Being on time and being punctual is very important to me, but over here, they're on their own time. So when you're with your girlfriend or somebody and you say, hey, we're going to be there, we're supposed to be there at 5, well, that means 6:30 to them. Or if you tell them the birthday party starts at 3:30, don't show up at 3:30 because you're going to be there by yourself. people are going to usually start showing up at about 5. So here's a trick that I tell you when you're with your boyfriend or your girlfriend over here. Because they're on Filipino time and there's nothing you can do to change that. Let them get ready first. Don't get ready first. It don't take me but 10 minutes really. Because I iron my clothes first. Then I go in there, take my, shower, brush my teeth, gargle, come out and I'm ready. Just put on my clothes, lotion, whatever it is. And I'm ready, but hell, it takes her at least an hour. I mean, that's the least, because she's going to spend 45 minutes in that shower. So yeah, Filipino time. Another question that was asked of me is, are Filipino men jealous of foreign men? There is some jealousy there. There is some envy there. But to be honest, I don't think Filipino men spend a whole lot of time on that subject, thinking about that. But we can do some things to arouse it. That's why I'm always talking about keeping a low profile. Don't be grandstanding over here. Don't try to make people over here look bad because you may have a little bit more money, your standard of living is a little bit higher. Because you can arouse that jealousy and that envy, and you don't want to do it. I was talking to my girlfriend earlier this morning because I asked, I said, what do you think? She said, I Filipino men are jealous of foreign men. She said, absolutely. She said, and the one thing that comes to mind is, she said her ex-boyfriend, she was chatting with a guy on Facebook. And he went crazy, He said, don't ever do that because I know you're going to leave me for him. And see, that's in the back of every Filipino man's mind. I'm talking about the masses. It's that their girlfriend is going to become the object of a foreigner's desire. And he knows that's a competition that he can't win. He knows that the foreigner has the new life and everything to offer. And he just doesn't like that. He knows that with all things being equal, because I've seen it in the Navy, I've seen it in my country. When there's a level playing field, see, he don't have a problem with it because he knows he's going to score just as high as a foreigner. But over here, it's not a level playing field. We've got a whole lot of advantages, but yeah, he isn't. But he hasn't spent a lot of time on it, guys. But don't arouse it. Be humble over here. Your guests, remember, we walk a thin line over here, guys. I promise you that. And last thing I'll talk about before I get on to the double standards of dating in the Philippines is, I was asked, what's the strangest law? Because the Philippines is a nation of laws like America. It's all kind of laws over here that I've ever heard of over here. And it's one that I recently came across, and it's Article 247 of the Revised Code. And it said, parents having surprised their daughters under 18 in the act of sexual intercourse can kill them, or the seducer, or both, during the act or immediately after, or they can inflict serious physical harm on them, and they won't face any charges. All that will happen is they'll be banished from the area of the crime, just so that they don't have to face the scrutiny of the neighbors and the family of the people that it happened to. But yeah, so, that kind of sends a message to guys who love young women. Don't come over fooling with, women under 18 over here. First of all, it's against the law. They've got anti-child abuse and exploitation laws over here. Despite that antiquated, age of consent law that's still on the books, by the way. They've got laws, guys. Don't do it. And then these parents, they can kill you if they catch you in the act of having sexual intercourse with their underage daughters. All right. Now let's get on to the subject, because it's not a whole lot of time I'm going to spend on this. But there's some double standards. And I was reminded of that today. One of my subscribers, Terry Barber, he called me and he was talking about, young girls having babies and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, well, something? this is a hot subject when you talk to foreigners and they come over here and date these young women, and you ask them, you say, hey man, would you allow a 45-year-old man with a scraggly beard smelling like alcohol and tobacco to date your 18 and 19-year-old daughter? And 100% of the time as a foreigner, especially in America, they're going to say absolutely not. They're going to have a problem with it. They may even do something crazy and go to jail. But those same men seem to think it's okay to come over here and date somebody else's 18 or 19-year-old. They don't think that an age gap over here is a problem. But see, I got news for you. It's tolerated over here, but it's not accepted. Well, what's the difference, Calvin? Tolerated means this is something they don't agree with, but they let it go on. They let it, happen without any interference. See, they don't agree with it. They don't agree with you coming over here, you 50-year-old men dealing with their 20-year-old daughters. But they don't bother you so long as you straddle that thin line over here. Accepted is something else. It means, we give our approval. It's regarded favorably. See, no, it's not over here. That's why you don't hardly see many Filipino men, older Filipino men with younger Filipino women. It's frowned upon. Does it happen? Yeah, but you better have a whole lot of money. You better have some type of clout, some type of importance. That's when you basically see it. But do you see? No, it's cringy, and they'll tell you that. I mean, they make fun of women, but we as foreigners, we think we can come over here. We just have the lay of the land with these young women. There's no rules we have to follow. All because, I can offer a better life. I can give a visa. I can do this and do that. People are going to accept it, but they really don't, guys. That's why we have to, remember, keep a low profile. Stay humble. Don't grandstand over here. Treat these women with the respect that you would want somebody to treat your daughter. I can't preach morality. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you that there's a double standard over here. One that you better be aware of. When you get over here and you think, would I want me dating my 20-year-old daughter? See, that's what you have to think. And that's one of the reasons why I never really went low. And it's the reason why I stopped fooling with that 18-year-old girl that told me she was 22. It's because I knew in my heart of hearts, number one, I had a 15-year-old daughter at the time, but I knew in my heart of hearts, I would never accept that. I would never accept, at that time I was 46, a 46-year-old full-grown man knocking on my door, knowing what's in his mind, knowing what he wants, despite whatever type of good life he's going to give her, see? And when you have that in your mind, if you're a decent human being, what's going to happen is it's going to influence the way that you handle your business over here, the way that you treat these women. But yeah, it's a double standard, and it's something that I just wanted to bring up today. I wanted you to think about, is it okay for a 46-year-old man to come knocking on your door over in America, in London, in France, a full-grown man, looking for your 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old daughter? Now, I want you to think about that. And always have that in your mind when you come over here, because it's tolerated over here, guys. It's not accepted. They don't approve it. It's not something they look upon favorably. But they're allowed to happen. They don't interfere with it, but they don't agree with it. So thank you so much for stopping by. And this is going to be a subject of one of my live streams, because this is a deep subject that I don't have enough time on here. I don't like to do these deep sermons, because this is just, what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. But I wanted to put that question out there. Would you allow your 19-year-old to date a 50-year-old man? Because I've got some friends, and they're madly in love, man. They've got a successful marriage. They've been together for a long time. But he was 50, and she was 19 when they met. I met a gentleman in Cebu, and I hope he's still alive. He would be really old by now. He was 81 when I met him, but he met his Filipina. He was 54. She was 18. They had been together for 27 years. He was 81 when I met him. But I'm asking you that question. Would you allow that? And if you wouldn't, then what makes you think it's okay for you to come over here and do that same thing? So thank you so much for stopping by today. If you're in America, it's getting late. If you're in the bed already, I hope you help somebody before you let your head hit the pillow. But if you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're just getting off second shift, or you're on your lunch break and you see somebody on the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. I say that, guys, every single day because I was that guy in the street struggling. In my case, hopelessly addicted to drugs and alcohol. Had spent all my money, afraid to go home. See, but somebody reached down, not to look down on me, but to help me up. And I stand here today, guys. So I speak to you from experience. If you're in the Philippines, I guess, a little bit after 8 o'clock, every Tuesday now on my live stream, we have the panel. It's fun, guys, today, and you're going to see more people copy it. And I don't care, it doesn't really matter to me. But what we do is instead of just being me or me and John, it's me and 5 or 6 of my subscribers. We're trying to bring faces to names that you normally only see in the comments. And last week was the first time we did it, and we had a blast, guys. But yeah, there's no excuse why you shouldn't help somebody over here. The situation that's going on with the lockdowns, with the COVID, a lot of people are struggling over here. They need our help. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time.